In this tutorial, we'll look at what data types are and then how to use them. And then we'll also look at what variables are and their applications in programs. We learned how to create a project in the previous video. So go ahead and create your project. And let's get started. I have already created mine. So, what is a data type? A data type of an item describes the type of data that can be stored in it, the amount of memory the item occupies, and the types of operation that can be performed on the data. Java has 8 primitive data types. By primitive, we mean simple data types. These data types are 1. The byte. The byte is a variation of the integer type and occupies less memory and holds only small values between -128 to +127. 2. The short. The short is also a variation of the integer type and also occupies less memory with values between -32,768 to +32,767. 3. The int. The int is the most commonly used integer type. It can hold values from -2,147,483,648 to +2,147,483,647. 4. The long. The long is also a variation of the integer type and occupies more memory and can hold larger values with digits more than 10. When you assign a value to be a long, you must add the character uppercase L to it to tell the compiler that it is a variable of type long. 5 and then 6, the float and then the double. These two are called the floating point data types. The float type can hold floating point values of up to 6 or 7 significant digits. When you declare a variable of type float, we must add the character uppercase F or lowercase f to tell the compiler that this is a float. But when we declare the double, we don't require a character at its end, and the double holds twice as much as a float does. 7. The char. The char can hold only a single character, like upper and lower case letters, punctuation marks, or digits, all placed between a pair of single quotation marks. The 8th and final primitive data type, the Boolean. The Boolean can hold only 2 values, that is, true or false values. Now, we have one more data type, but this data type is not a primitive data type. It is known as a reference type, and this data type is the string data type, and particularly the string is a class. That's why it is known as the reference type. So the string, the data type used to hold a string of characters between a pair of double quotation marks, and the string is the most used data type because all the writings that will appear on our user interface in any program you write, we use the string as the data type to hold the values. Now, let's look at what variables are. A variable is a named location in memory where values can be stored. It can only hold one value at a time, meaning the value it holds can change at a given point in the program. So, for example, let's say we declare a variable named car price. Car price can hold 25 when the application begins, but later in the program, we can change the value of car price to 200. To declare a variable, we need a data type, either an int, double, string, char, boolean, etc. 2. An identifier, that is the variable name. And then 3. An ending semicolon. By convention, variable names begin with lowercase letters. Beginning variable names with lowercase letters, and then capitalizing subsequent words is a style in programming known as the camel casing. So, for example, to declare a variable named first name, type first with lowercase letters, and then name being another word begins with an uppercase letter N, and then the rest of the alphabets are lowercase letters. Now, Java is a strongly typed language, which means all variables must be declared before they can be used in the program. Let's look at this line of code. Int my age equals 5 and semicolon. We can see that we have the data type int, the identifier my age, and then we have an equal sign and then the value 5 and our ending semicolon. When we write Java statements or programming statements like this, it is no longer a declaration but an initialization. That is, we are telling our compiler that we want to store the value 5 inside the identifier my age. Now, this line of code can be splitted into multiple lines. To do this, we declare a variable int my age and a semicolon. Then on the next line, we type my age equals 5, a semicolon, and we call this an assignment. Note, the identifier name must always be on the left side and the value being on the right side of the equal operator respectively. Writing the statement 25 equals my age is illegal and results in errors. We declare a variable only once, but assignments can happen multiple times in the program. Now, another type of variable is the named constant. As the name suggests, the value stored in it cannot be changed. The declaration statement of a constant is the same as the variable, except that the data type is preceded by the keyword final. And by convention, the identifiers are all uppercase letters, using underscores to separate words. For example, we can define a named constant for price per gallon of fuel as final double price underscore per underscore gallon equals 24.99 semicolon. We are telling our compiler that the named constant price per gallon holds the value 24.99, and then the final there telling the compiler that the value 24.99 cannot be changed. So let's look at how to make use of variables and then data types. Within our main method, let's create the following declarations. Byte a byte equals 12 semicolon. Short a short equals 1, 2, 3, 4. long equals 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 8 7 4 uppercase L semicolon. Int and int equals 1 2 3 4 5 semicolon. Float equals 2 3.34 uppercase F semicolon. Double equals 34.52 semicolon. Char equals capital J inside single quotation marks semicolon. Boolean equals true semicolon. And string equals good day between double quotation marks. Now let's print the results out. So system.out.println, and inside the bracket we type the byte is between the quotation marks space, then outside of the quotation marks but inside the brackets type plus a byte. So we'll do that for all the data types. So we just copy and then paste. Then we change the variable names. So a short, a long, an int, a float, a double, a char, a boolean, a string. Then in between the double quotation marks, we change the bytes to short, long, int, float, double, char, boolean, string. Now, what is the meaning of the plus sign in this code? Our plus sign is helping with a term in programming we call concatenation. That is combining variables with a string. Notice that inside the bracket of the println method, we have a string and a variable separated by the plus symbol. When we run this application, we will see that the string inside the println method is printed together with the value stored in the variable. So let's run this application. When we run this application, we see that the string is printed together with the value stored in the variable, but not the variable itself. If I had written the variable name inside the quotation marks, we get the string printed together with the variable name. So for example, let's place the byte variable in this statement inside the quotation marks, and let's run it, and we get our output to be the byte is a byte. So it's telling us that to use the value inside the variable, you need to place the variable outside of the quotation marks with a plus, but to display the variable name itself, we place the variable inside the quotation marks. So this is how we use variables efficiently. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson.